You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. How we doing? How we doing? Stephanie White, the puppet master of point guards. CaitlinClark and Kelsey Mitchell will play off ball. And finally, the Indiana Fever have went through 9 point guards and haven't found the one they're looking for yet. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We want to thank you for joining. And we'll always let you know it's my opinion, but if it turns to truth, I've given you the facts long before they happen. Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever now have signed on 2 new point guards to come in, and it looks like Stephanie White will be the puppet master of the point guards. What do I mean by the puppet master? The Indiana Fever want a point guard that they have full control over to do and execute what they want to have done. It's a fair assessment, of course. However, does it fit the way the game is played today? The Indiana Fever will face off against the Washington Mystics. If Sonia Citron was on the Indiana Fever, would she have an opportunity to play the point guard for the Indiana Fever? That's one that really has got to be detailed as you look at it. Coach White likes to have full control of offense and defense. And you're looking for a player that's similar to what she did. Now, as I look back at history of Stephanie White and a player, Stephanie White in the WNBA averaged about 5 points a game in the WNBA, averaged somewhere about 2 assists, and really was a controlled basketball player. Coach White is looking for someone similar to do that, a hard-nosed player that can average about 5 points a game and that she will be able to instruct. I say the puppet master because if you have skills and talent that goes beyond an individuality, it probably will not fit the Indiana Fever. And the reason I say that it won't fit is because we have been told time and time again by the Indiana Fever that they would like to have Kelsey Mitchell, as you know, play off the ball. And they'd also like to have CaitlinClark play off the ball as well. That's why I say you've got Stephanie White is the puppet master of the point guards. Now, when you look at that, and this goes all the way back to Lynn Dunn, and you guys both know, just looking back since Caitlin was drafted, Lynn Dunn openly spoke about it, never felt that CaitlinClark was a point guard. In the Indiana Fever today, as you look at it from a broadcast or a media standpoint, you notice they never say we don't have Caitlin. They always say we don't have a point guard. And I was wondering, will there ever be a time where Coach White, Coach Stephanie White, the head coach of the Indiana Fever, will actually turn around and say, we don't have Caitlin, and that's why we can't win. It's always we don't have a point guard. Concerning to me because it's been spread as a narrative, but here's the funny thing about it. When you look at the Indiana Fever, and folks, I want you to really understand when I say puppet master and Coach Stephanie White, Coach White wants somebody to do what she did when she was playing. She's not elevated to the game where the point guards are today. So even if they had Kelsey Plum would have to play off the ball for the Indiana Fever. That's just the way to look at it because they wouldn't consider that person a point guard. It's concerning, but the Indiana Fever have had the pick of the litter, and they're not satisfied. And when you work under Stephanie White, which means I say puppet master, that means she has to have full control. The Indiana Fever have had point guards, and I'll walk through the name, and you tell me, because it looks like the unlucky 9 who have not met the expectations of the Indiana Fever. We all know they want CaitlinClark to be off the ball. We understand they want Kelsey Mitchell off the ball as well. But they also had Erica Wheeler as a point guard that didn't fit the Indiana Fever system. They also had Grace Berger as a point guard that did not fit. They also had Christy Wallace, who did not fit as a point guard. You brought in Colson and McDonald, and they could see right there were some struggle points coming along with Colson. McDonald played some good basketball, but against the top flight teams had her struggle points as well on the defensive side. And now you go to Odyssey Sims and Kyra Lambert. Folks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 point guards that the Indiana Fever have brought in. They haven't found what they're looking for, and it's a shocking treatment because this is where I say that you have Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, is the puppet master of point guards. Looking for somebody who plays the game like her, scores about 5 points a game, maybe get 2 or 3 assists. Anything beyond that would move you out of the category of being a point guard for the Indiana Fever. This is a long story to be told, but after 9 players did not make it to be the Indiana Fever point guard, and we all know that hands down, there's not a better point guard for the Indiana Fever but CaitlinClark, but still they want to move her off the ball. This is a very interesting story. You got Stephanie White is the puppet master of the point guards. Caitlin and Kelsey Mitchell, they want them both off the ball, and the Indiana Fever have went through 9 point guards in the last 2 years, and none of them have met the expectation of being a franchise point guard for the Indiana Fever. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast, folks. I want to thank you for tuning in and joining us. The Indiana Fever are going to tip it up on the Washington Mystics. I'll get you a scouting report out on that. But looking at that, they're going to face Kiki and Sonia Citron, who's an MVP, Ruthie Bolton MVP point guard candidate. And she's playing great basketball. They made a recent trade with Aaliyah Edwards, but Sydney Johnson is knocking on the door, 14 and 18, and the Indiana Fever are sitting right there too. The 4 extra games that the WNBA play may be an advantage for Caitlin as they look for the Indiana Fever to make the playoffs. You respond to me if the Indiana Fever don't make the playoffs. Is Stephanie White a one and done, or we're going to come back and do the same thing again next year? You'll let me know, but this is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. All things are possible to those who believe, and we appreciate you tuning in and look forward to seeing you soon.